If they focus on having the OS basically simply be just Windows for that console device, that would completely change the game. And of course, you had to have your classic PlayStation, yes sir, gamer for life reply to that tweet saying, wrong, PS blocked games on Xbox before on the handheld, they'll do it again on console. My boy, are you fucking... I have to understand, like, what are you talking about they blocked it on a handheld? Did they block games on the Asus ROG Ally? No. Did they block games on the Steam Deck? No, you're probably talking about how Sony blocked Death Stranding on the PC version from being streamed on an Edge browser onto the Xbox console. Is that what you mean? Because that's not a handheld, and that's not blocking PlayStation games.
What's going on, my people? That's right, I'm back at you with another video. A very brief video, I think. I never know until I get into these videos because they're unscripted. But anyway, I want to talk about a particular subject that basically is being talked about right now in the media, and that is the subject, as you guys know, or you should know by now, Phil Spencer is talking about bringing stores like Epic Game Store, Steam, et cetera, to Xbox. I think in general, he was basically saying that that basically should be the lay of the land for the console market, period, because he's doing this, they're looking at both Sony and Xbox are both saying that the console market is very stagnant right now. It's not moving forward. Now, they're not broke. They're making a lot of money. That's not what anybody's saying. PlayStation isn't saying they're not making money. Xbox isn't saying they're not making money. They're just saying that they're not making enough money and they don't see the money growing. They don't see their market growing and they want their market to grow, okay? So that's one idea that Phil Spencer put out there in a recent interview in an article. And a lot of people have had, of course, a lot of different things to say about it. And of course, you know, Phil Spencer has his haters or whatever. But I was listening to Web Dave's podcast today. And sometimes, you know, people can try to make a big deal out of the most absurd possibilities. For me, it's about, okay, look, it's cool to consider the possibilities, but you also have to take into account what are the probabilities. Now, I understand that with a lot of these podcasters, their whole thing is they want to create these narratives that keep people coming back to their podcast. And a lot of them, you know, their job is basically to keep the drama going even when there should be no drama around a particular topic. Now, today, basically, they were saying that PlayStation could block Xbox from purchasing PlayStation games that are on, say, for example, Steam, right? Now, that would make sense if the new Xbox or the upcoming Xbox, because the next Xbox, the way they're making it sound like it's going to be a PC. Basically, consoles right now are nothing but walled off PCs. They're walled off low-tier PCs. That's all they are. They're just walled off. When you put a disc in, it's like that disc has a key in it. And that key is the key to a door that allows you to have access to that hardware. And that hardware is going to go ahead and play that game. You can't just go put any disc in it. So basically, the way they're talking now is Microsoft is ready to take the walls down. And they're ready to make a console that is a PC. So if they were to do that, they probably, if Sony wanted to, I got 2 points to make on this. Number one, if Sony wanted to do something like that, the amount of money, now let's keep in mind now, I know we're used to thinking about Xbox as just like a console as we have traditionally thought. Forget that, get that out of your head. Think about Xbox as a PC. And basically what they were saying was on Web Dave was that it's technologically possible for PlayStation to arrange it so that these different stores, if they recognize that PC as the Xbox PC, they would not sell their games to that customer because that customer is on a PC, but they're on an Xbox PC. Okay, now let's go with that. Let's say that's technologically possible, which I'm sure that it is. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think that if you have the right equipment, a person can tell what kind of PC you're on, what brand it is, the components inside of it, the whole 9 yards. So I believe, of course, if Steam was interested in it, if Epic was interested in it, they could set up something where they could detect what kind of hardware you had. And as a matter of fact, I know you can do that because in the past, I remember before I got my new PC, I had my low-tier PC. I had a low-tier PC. It wasn't low-tier when I first purchased it, of course, but it ended up turning into one. And I remember the last Doom that came out, I purchased it. And the game basically let me know that because of the hardware I had, that I was not going to be able to run the game. That's when I knew. I got a new PC probably like 2 weeks after that. I specifically remember that. So yeah, it's probably possible. I would not deny that or debate that at all. However, Steam and Epic Games, they're not these development companies that only make a few $1 million. These are conglomerates. PlayStation has been able to talk companies, or rather pay companies, not talk them into it, but pay companies a little bit of money. They give them a bag to basically turn their backs on Xbox and not put their games on Xbox and, treat Xbox some kind of way. But these are $1 million companies. Not saying they're broke, but they're not conglomerates like Sony, like Microsoft, the company that owns Epic Games, and I forgot exactly who that is, but anyway, they are super rich. These are super rich companies. Steam is a mega conglomerate. These people have mad money. It's not going to be so easily to financially tempt these companies to do that. Not that they wouldn't do it if you paid them enough money. They are companies. So yeah, but the question is, would Sony be willing to pay that kind of money? That kind of money that they would have to pay these companies that own these PC gaming stores? Oh my God, just to pay one of them would be an astronomical amount of money. And I simply, for one, do not believe that PlayStation is willing to pay that kind of money. I just don't believe it. Now we'll move to the second reason why I don't believe this is going to happen. And this is the most important reason. You may not be willing to admit it if you're a fanboy of PlayStation, but it's obvious. It's a new day at PlayStation. PlayStation, look, these executives came down and found out that these guys were using a fanboy philosophy when it came to how they were running the company. And they came in and they were like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? You have this walled off, that walled off, and we could be making money doing this and that. Are you serious? So there's a new day with that. And that kind of helps me pivot into the main second reason why I don't think this would happen. I don't think Sony even has an interest in it happening. In fact, I theorize that Phil Spencer has already spoken to the executives over at Sony about this, and they cannot wait for something like this to happen. They're going to let him lead the charge. But, if Phil Spencer does this, they could very easily just be like, okay, look, we were putting our games on PC. We didn't put our games on Xbox. Xbox turned into a PC. What do you want us to do? You want us to go out here and pay these conglomerates? Hell, we would shut down if we did that, if we paid that kind of money to make it worth it for these companies to turn their backs on a specific PC because that PC was a certain brand. We're not going to do it. So that's the biggest reason why I don't think it's going to happen. I honestly don't believe that PlayStation even has an interest in doing something like that. And when they hear the fanboys implying that they should do something like that, they probably would be laughing behind their backs. I basically just wanted to come in because I could not believe that these people were having this conversation. Like, okay, yeah, it's possible, but don't have this conversation in the context that you're really sitting here trying to make me believe that you even halfway believe that this is going to happen, because it's just too many reasons why it would not happen. The most important reason is I don't even think Sony cares about stopping it from happening. And even if they slightly cared about it, let's say it was a couple of executives over there who did care about it. Let's say they were part of the old regime and they say something about it. Well, the money's going to come up. They're going to have to make what it would cost them to make that happen. They're going to have a meeting with the higher ups and make that make sense. They're going to have to push their idea to block Xbox out, and they're going to have to show the company how much money that's going to cost and how many companies they're going to have to pay to make that happen. So for that reason alone, I just don't think it's happening. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to say that right quick. I just wanted to chime in on that. I heard a conversation. I thought it was a bit insane. The conversation itself wasn't insane, but just the way they were trying to almost like scare their listeners. Yeah, this thing, Phil Spencer's talking about, it sounds good, but hey, Sony, they're probably going to block it. I'm like, come on, man. I mean, it's one thing if you mention the possibility this could happen and have the conversation in that context, but when you're sitting here trying to scare your listeners, I don't know. To me, man, like I said, I understand these guys have podcasts. I know baby got to have new shoes. Look, man, you got to make your money any way you can. But anyway, guys, hey, look, and by the way, I love Web Dave, man. Do not take this as a knock on Web Dave. I love Web Dave. And, so I like all the guys that he had on the panel. Hargeet, a couple other guys, I forgot their names. But anyway, I like those guys. I'm not really trying to knock them. But so don't take it that way if you like that. I like them too. In fact, when I get through making this video, I'm about to go back and check out the rest of it. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think down in the bottom. And of course, like always, be respectful and keep it clean. And like always, stay safe.